Whatever you say. I've done more than I bargained for on this trip already. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Here we are, part 3, or as the Germans did it, part 3 uh, of issue 95, and we're going to get these mounted. I want to get the mounting done, and then we can do the painting. So, I've got a couple of magnets here already. I've got some here. I'm going to use paint to mark these. So that way I get them correct. And I've already just kind of played around a little bit. As you can see, I've got kind of some spots marked here. And let me show you what I've done. So if we take one of these big ones, we'll set that there, and we'll take one of these little ones. We do this, and then we kind of do one of these, right? And we can kind of slide it over, and it's not like 100% like right up against it, but I think the pole is going to be so great that it'll hold it in place. So that's what I'm looking for. So there's that, and then same thing on the bottom there. So what I'll do is glue the little ones on here first, and then glue the big ones on there. So with the little ones, I want to make sure that I know which side is up, and same with the big ones. And basically, so I put the black side facing out, one, because I really don't want to paint over or glue over paint. And two, I want to be able to know that it's facing towards the other magnet. Now on this other one, I want to know that I'm facing out, right? So basically I'm putting them in the direction that the magnetic force is going. So black will go to silver, essentially is how that's going to work. So there's those two. I believe these other two should be dry, so we can glue these ones on. And again, oops, we're just going to put a fairly big dollop of glue here. I think that was, when I was trying to put them on the post, I think that was the big problem, was I wasn't quite putting enough glue on. And what was happening was they, especially since I was in such a kind of a precarious spot, that they, I wasn't getting a lot of gluing surface, which was unfortunate, which is also why I decided to change and just go like do it like this. This worked out really well for the ones that I fixed. So I decided that if it worked well enough for those, it should work well enough for these. And yeah, and it won't get in the road of anything. So pretty happy with that. All right, I'm going to let those set up, and then when those are set up, we'll come back, put them on, and then glue these other ones on. So we'll be back when those are all set up. See you after a bit. Okay, these are dry, and I'm just doing like the wiggle test. So if I press on them and they don't move around, I'm calling that dry. So what I'm going to do is I'll do this one first, and I'm just going to double check that the black side is the right side, and I'm going to put that on there. And yeah, I think that's going to be good enough. And we're just going to slap a bunch of glue on here. Kind of like that. Just going to stick it on there. Get this next one. Make sure that it goes on there properly. Make sure that the black side is out. And it was. Hard for you guys to tell, but you'll just have to trust me. But yeah, I need to figure out how I'm going to mount these. So I've got a couple of choices. We could do potentially a magnet on here. Something like that. And that would hold it fairly flush. So if I were to do this magnet, one of these magnets, right, glue it so it fits right along this edge. Let's say in the corner. If I can get it to go to the corner, come on now. So if I could glue it to where it goes in this corner here, and then that fits pretty flush with the way the framework is. I don't know if you can just barely see it right over there. So there we go. So you're kind of looking down on it. So it sits kind of flush. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So if I do that, and then I just put the magnet, I can glue the magnet here, right in that, right where those two come together. And then all I have to do is just glue the washer in place to link up with the magnet. And then I'll have to figure out the top as well and glue magnets there. I think that will work. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to get a couple of these bigger magnets. Let's get some more glue out here. So there are those. Now, I have to figure out these side pieces. I need to know which side pieces go where. And they're going to go like this. Now, potentially, I could glue them on, but I think that'd be a mistake. It is plastic on plastic, so that's going to be interesting. But we got to figure out which ones go where. And I'm going to mark them. Okay. So we have different ones here. So this one, I believe, yeah, so this one is going to be on that side. So that side is the port side, and I'm gonna call it port rear. And I'm just gonna put a PR. Okay, so port rear, and then this one is port front. PF. PF. Okay, so that means these ones. So this one here would be starboard rear. R. I don't write very well holding it up like that, but and this one will be starboard F. Okay. So at least have those figured out. So we can kind of go from here. And since we're on the starboard side right now, let's see if we can come up with a game plan on how I'm going to attach these. And I'll put this one up here to dry. Okay, so while these are all drying, we'll just let it go. We'll come back, see how everything's going after that. And yeah, go from there. See you guys after a bit. Welcome back, everybody. So we now have the top over here, and we can go through the same process and get these marked. Now after these, I know these are set up, I will come back with some of the Gorilla Glue and put it on there. When this Gorilla Glue dries, it adheres really, really well. So I want to make sure that these don't move, but the super glue is going to dry faster and help them set up. That Gorilla Glue, it takes quite a while for it to set up. So, all right, so we have that. Let's get ourselves a couple of magnets here. We'll get these ones glued up. Port side's all glued. All I have to do is get the metal glued onto the just got to get these washers glued onto the lower part, and I'm also going to put some of the Gorilla Glue on the framework to hold those other magnets that I glued on last time. So I'll go ahead and take this, put it back over where it belongs, and we'll swap them out. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is take these off. Well, I will let this set up again. Hopefully it lines up. I think it's going to. If it does, I always thought it should have. And I will definitely get some Gorilla Glue on there to help hold it in place. With that, I'm going to let all of this rest, and I will Gorilla Glue it off camera, I think. Yeah. So we'll get that kind of finalized, and we'll come back and see if we can get these glued in. Otherwise, I might do those. This has been quite a long video so far, so we may have to glue the rest of those in off camera, and then we'll come back and see how it all comes together later. So with that, we'll come back one final time after I kind of get an idea of how long this video is. I don't want them to be too long, so I'll see you guys back here after a bit. Welcome back. So I'm quite often reminded of, I don't know why I had two of these. I'm quite often reminded of, I think about how Han Solo would greet somebody after they hadn't seen him. It'd probably be something like, "Hey, kid," or something like that, you know what I mean? Anyway, so here we are. I've got them all glued up. So I tried to fix this one again. I think this thing's been glued like 4 or 5 times. I tried to put some of the Gorilla Glue on it, but considering I couldn't have any on the sides, it wasn't going to work out very well. So I just ended up gluing it here on this part, and then I've got the corresponding magnet here glued, and this glue is still a bit wet, so I'm waiting for that to set up, and then I will come back with some Gorilla Glue and glue this in more permanently, and so that will be good to go. But it works quite well as is. Um, so that will get finished up. We'll finally get this part taken care of. So I've got all of the magnets here. I did a lot of this stuff off camera because the video is already getting to be quite long. I got all of these done, and I did just give these a trial run on the lower part. I didn't try it on the upper part. I'm sure it's going to work if it worked on the lower part. The only thing I will say is that um, maybe it's with the glue, but I don't think so. I don't think the glue makes it stick out. But these are maybe a smidge too stick out a bit too far, so they stand off just a little bit. But I think that's okay. That's not going to be the end of the world on anything. But they all fit fabulously. So I did want to I got these glued in place. I put the extra Gorilla Glue on them. They're nice and strong now. I feel confident that those aren't just going to randomly fall off. So if we take these, and we can see how these work out. So we're going to have this one and this one. Oops. So it goes this way around. Helps when you put them on properly. So as you can see, those magnets, let's see if you can hear it. You can kind of hear those kind of come together. And that's with the magnets don't actually, see if you can see in there. So we get that to focus. So if you can look down through there, you can see light through there. So the magnets don't actually touch the metal. So that's how strong those are. They just pull in really, really solid. And then if we do this one is the same type of situation. So they pull in really well. So that's going to be pretty solid. I'm not going to have to worry about those at all. So all I have to do is screw these back on. And I'll just have to make sure that I know which one's the top and which one's the bottom. So this is going to go like this. That's going to go like that, I believe, is how that goes. I believe. So let's go ahead and we'll just mark. No, unfortunately, this marker doesn't. The marker, like, as soon as I rub my finger on it, that's going to be rubbed off. But that's okay. So that's how that's going to go together. And we'll get these remounted. Jeez. We'll get those remounted. There's my screws over here. I'll remount these off camera. I bet I probably did an hour off camera of stuff. Just because trying to redo this and all that kind of stuff. And then I, set this all up off camera and whatnot. Just a few little things. But it's all done, ready to go. So I'm going to call that good for the end of this issue. Off camera, I'll put these on. I'll do all these together. I just want to wait for this one to finish drying, and then I'll put all these back on. And I'm not going to mount these right now anyway because of the fact that I still need to paint them. So like we've got some black here and some other stuff. So we'll be doing the painting next time. But this has gotten to be quite hefty. But yeah, we'll be painting these up next time, and that should end issue 95 after that. So with that, I want to say thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and may the force be with you always.